I have a circle. If I want to fill the circle with the color red, then what I will do? I'm going to call the method fill style. Suppose if I want to create a shadow of any object or any element, then I'm going to use shadow in my canvas. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session on HTML5. I'm your Revati ma'am, faculty from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, first grade, College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So dear student, in my last session, I started with canvas. So what is canvas? It's a rectangle space on the web page. If I want to draw any rectangle space on my web page, then I'm going to use canvas element. So what is element? Element is nothing but the tag, okay? Canvas tag, which is supported by the HTML5. Now, in my today's session, I'm going to deal with linear gradients as well as radial gradients. Anyway, dear student, at the beginning, I'm going to deal with images. That's nothing but the using image. By using canvas, I can able to draw the image. So HTML5 supports some of the methods to draw the image. That is nothing but the begin path, move to, x comma y coordinate. Along with that, I'm going to have the close path, fill and stroke. These are the some of the image methods supported by the canvas. Suppose if I want to include or draw any graphics in my HTML, then I'll use the canvas tag. Along with that, I'm going to use image. So if I consider begin path, okay, to begin the path, I can have the method called begin path. Now move to. Suppose if I don't want to consider the previous image or previous path and I want to create my own new path, then I'll go with the move to. Then what about close path? I want to close the previous path and I want to create a new path. For that, I'm going to have close path. Along with that, if I want to fill the color, if you want to have the strokes, then I'll use fill and stroke method. Okay, fine. Suppose if I want to draw a image, okay, then I have a method called draw image. So I'm going to have the image at the same time. I'm going to specify the x coordinate as well as y coordinate. So this is a method used to draw the given image on the canvas. So think that this is your rectangle space on the web page. Okay, there is no border, there is no content. Okay, fine. Now I want to draw the image in this plane. Okay, then I'll use the method called draw image. Okay, I'm going to have the image. At the same time, I'm going to specify the x coordinates as well as y coordinates. Okay, now see here, I have a simple program how I can able to include a image or how I can able to draw a image. So if I consider image tag, okay, so to include image, I have a tag called img. That's nothing but the image tag, and I'm going to specify the ID of the image. At the same time, I'm going to write the width and height of the image. Okay, then I'm going to specify the source. So what is source? Source is nothing but where the file is stored. Okay, so I want to write the complete path. Where I'm writing? In my source attribute. Then, okay, I'm going to create a canvas. So canvas must have its own unique ID. So I'm going to specify the ID. Okay, then I'm going to specify the width of the canvas, height of the canvas, the border style, okay. I'm going to specify the color. And what kind of color code? That's nothing but the hexadecimal color code. Okay, fine. If I consider the code, okay, I'll start with the script. Okay, when I load the page, so Windows on load, what I'm doing? I'm calling the function. Okay, so how I'm going to get the canvas ID? That is through the get element by ID. If I want to create any rendering, then I'll use get context, and it is 2-dimension. If I want to get the image ID, so I'll use get element, okay, by ID, and I'm going to supply the image ID, and I'm going to specify I'm going to call the draw image. I'm passing the image, okay. Along with that, I'm going to specify the x coordinate and y coordinate, and I'm going to close the script, and I'm going to close the body, and I'm going to close the HTML tag. Okay, fine. Now I have, okay, some of the other methods, okay, which is supported by the HTML5 canvas, that is add color stop. So I'm going to specify the offset value. At the same time, I'm going to specify the color. So here, this method adds a color stop with the given color to the gradient. So what is gradient? Dear student, we already discussed this concept in our second unit. So what is gradient? Combination of two or more colors. Okay, that is nothing but the transition of two or more colors are known as gradient. Suppose if I want to provide any transition between two or more colors, then it is called gradient. There are two types of gradient, linear gradient and gradual. So linear in the sense what? I am considering the line. Then what about radial? Radial is nothing but the radius. Okay. So if I consider gradient, I have create linear gradient. Okay, linear gradient in the sense what? Linear line. So I'm considering the x coordinate, y coordinate. Along with that, I'm going to consider the x1 coordinate and y1 coordinate. So a linear coordinate, that is a linear gradient, is a function used to create an image. Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm creating a image that consisting of propagative transition between two or more colors along a straight line. Okay, whenever I consider a line, then it is linear gradient. So here I have x coordinate, y coordinate, and here I have x1 coordinate and y1 coordinate. Okay. Now I have two dots and I'm going to connect a dot. That is nothing but the linear coordinate. Linear in the sense what? Straight line. Then what about radial gradient? See here, I have x naught, I have y naught, at the same time radius naught and y1, x1 and radius 1. So radial gradient function, it is used to create an image which consisting of progressive transition between two or more radians from an origin. Okay, example, if I consider where I can have the radius, if I consider the circle or if I consider the ellipse, I can have the radius. See here, okay, this is my circle and this is my central point, okay. And if I want a color propagation between two or more colors, then okay, I'll use the radial gradients. Okay, transposition of two or more or transition of two or more colors is known as gradients. To create okay radial gradient, I'm going to use create radial gradient method. Okay, fine. Now, okay, the HTML canvas also provides few more functions, okay, to apply the colors, that is fill style, stroke style, okay. So, what is fill style? Filling the color. This attribute represents the color or style to use inside the shape. Okay, fine. I have a circle. If I want to fill the circle with the color red, then what I will do? I'm going to call the method fill style. Okay, stroke style. It's an attribute, okay, that represents the color to use for the line around shapes. Okay, see here, I have a circle. Okay, this is the circle, right? This is the line. Okay, if I want to draw the line around the circle, then I'll call the stroke line. Okay, fine. If I consider default value, the stroke and fill color are set to black. By default, what is the color? That is nothing but the black color. If I consider the hexadecimal code for color, black, that is hash 000. So, how many times? 6 times you have to write the 0. Okay, fine. Now, I have the example program how I can able to fill the color. See here, I have a script. Okay, what kind of script? It is JavaScript or it may be text. Okay, then I have a function called draw shape. Okay, how I'm going to get the canvas ID? That is through the get element by ID. And I can have the rendering. It is 2-dimension. Okay, then fill color, fill style in the sense what? I want to fill the color. So what kind of color I want to fill? That is nothing but the red color. So rectangle, okay. Then I have a method fill rect and I'm going to pass the value. And I'm going to close the script. I'm going to close the head, okay. And if I consider the body have a ID called test, okay. And when I load the page, okay, so it is on load, I'm going to call a method called draw shape and I'm creating the canvas ID. I'm going to close the body and I'm going to close the HTML. Okay, fine. If I consider stroke style, same code, okay, same procedure. Instead of calling fill style, I'm just going to call the stroke. So, I have a method called draw shape, okay. To get the canvas ID, I have a method called get element by ID. Okay, fine. Now, I have a concept called text and font. In the sense what? In my canvas, how I can able to include text and fonts. So, HTML5 canvas provides the ability to create a text using text, okay, and font. Some of the font and text attributes are, see here, font, okay, and I'm going to have the value. This property returns the current font setting, okay, and can be set to change the font. For example, if my font style is Times New Roman, I just want to change that Times New Roman to Arial. So, then I'll call font property or I'll use font property. Text align. So this text align property returns the current text alignment. For example, if it is left aligned, okay, and this text align returns the current text alignment. Suppose if I want to change that into some other, then I can able to change it. Okay, so what are the possible alignment I can have? Right align, left align, center, start and end. Next, text baseline. Okay, this property returns the current baseline alignment setting. So what are the baseline alignment setting I can have? That is top, hanging, middle, alphabetic. Okay, these are the some of the text alignment settings. Okay, fine. If I want to fill the text, so I have fill text. Okay, I'm going to pass the text. At the same time, I'm going to pass the x coordinate as well as y coordinate, and I'm going to specify the maximum width. Okay, if I want to see, I have one more method, stroke test. Okay, so stroke text and I'm passing x coordinate as well as y coordinate, and I'm going to specify the maximum width. Okay, see, if I consider the example, I have a method called draw shape, and I'm going to call the method that is get element by id, and I'm passing the canvas id. Okay, fine. I'm going to fill the text with the color. What it is? It is hexadecimal color code. Okay, and what is my font style? It is italic. Okay, what is the size? 30 pixel. Font style is nothing but the, okay, whatever you want, you can able to write. Next, baseline, from where I want to start, I'm going to specify from the top. Fill text, okay, I have hello world, and I'm going to pass the x coordinate as well as y coordinate. Suppose if I want to use stroke text, then you have to pass the text, along with that you have to pass the x coordinate as well as y coordinate. Then I'm going to close the script, then I'm going to close the head tag. Okay, fine. Now suppose if I want to create a pattern, how it is possible to create a pattern? See here, what is pattern? I have a rectangle box, okay, and I want to repeat same box again and again. This is itself called as pattern. Okay, I have a circle. Okay, I want to repeat the circle 6 times. Okay, same circle I'm repeating. How many times? 6 times. This concept itself known as pattern. Now, Canvas supports pattern. Okay, fine. How to write a pattern? See here, I have a method called draw shape. Okay, how I'm going to get the canvas ID? That is through the get element by ID. Now what I want to do, I'm going to create a image. Okay, so new image. Okay, fine. Using image, okay, .src, I'm going to write the source of the image. That's nothing but the complete path. When I load the page, what's going to happen? Okay, your image must be drawn. Okay, your pattern must be drawn. So on load, I'm going to call a function. Okay, fine. See here, I'm creating a pattern. Okay, image. What kind of image? For example, it is circle. What I'm doing? I'm just repeating the circle. Okay, so it is repeat. Over. Then I have a fill rect. Okay, and I'm going to pass the x coordinate as well as y coordinate. Okay, fine. If I consider canvas, what is my canvas ID? My canvas itself, my canvas ID. Okay, fine. Now I have one more important concept called shadow. Suppose if I want to create a shadow of any object or any element, then I'm going to use shadow in my canvas. Okay, HTML5 canvas provides a ability to create a shadow around the drawings, okay, around the objects, around the images. So what are the property I can have? I can have the properties like shadow color. Okay. Okay, if I consider my shadow, okay, usually it's in black color. Suppose if I want to change the shadow color, then I can have the property called shadow color. If I want to provide the offset value of the shadow, okay, that is only x coordinate offset, then I have a property called shadow offset x. If I want to change, or if I want to get the current shadow offset, okay, that is y coordinate, then I have a shadow offset y coordinate. If I want to blur the shadow, okay, then I have a property called shadow blur. Okay, so these are the certain properties of the shadow. Now, okay, let me to create a shadow. See here, what is my function name? Draw shape is my function name. How I'm going to get the canvas ID? That is nothing but the get element by ID. Okay, now I'm going to write the x coordinate offset value, y coordinate offset value. So shadow offset x coordinate, it is 2, shadow, okay, offset y coordinate, it is 2, and if I want to blur the shadow, okay, shadow blur, okay, fine. Next, if I want to set the shadow color, that is shadow color, okay, I'm using RGBA, red, green, blue and alpha. Okay, I'm going to pass the value. So it is red, green, blue and alpha value. Okay, suppose if you want to include the font, you can able to include the font. Okay, and I'm going to specify the fill style, that's nothing but the blank. Okay, now I have a text. Okay, this is shadow text, and for this text I want to create a shadow. Well, and what is my canvas ID? My canvas is nothing but the canvas ID. Anyway, dear student, in my today's session, I started with how I can able to include images, okay, in my web page using canvas. At the same time, we have discussed what is linear gradient, what is radial gradient, okay. Along with that, we have discussed font and text. Along with that, we have discussed patterns and shadows. Okay, fine. In my next class, I'm going to deal with canvas states. Okay, along with that, I'm going to discuss canvas transitions as well as canvas rotation. Anyway, dear student, okay, we are going to learn more about canvas in my next class. Until that, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.